About 8 years ago, when I was 14, I built a ladder drop out of some 2x4s, pallets, and leftover brush. The drop was a bit sketchy then, and 8 years later, after sitting in my yard under a pile of brush, it's even sketchier. My brother and I wanted to test it out and give it another try, as we recently got back into mountain biking. Behold the rot drop. After testing it with a very scientific test, consisting of walking on it and seeing if it broke, we decided that it was still usable. I mean, we're pretty light and it should be able to hold us, right? And despite the side-to-side shake, it still actually seemed pretty solid considering its semi-rotted state. So we scouted the yard to try to find a new location for the newly named rot drop. Although we, as a family, are in the process of clearing out the yard, which will make for some opportunities for some sweet new lines, we decided to put the drop in the middle of one of the beat-down trails through the yard. This seemed like a good spot since it was on a hill and there was a bit of an angle for the landing. Despite the boat on the trailer, the path looked pretty clear. Thinking about it though, the drop itself probably could use some reinforcement. So we brought in the big lumber as to not make it too safe. A bit of side-to-side shake had to remain for old time's sake. With the new boards screwed in and the new location picked, we dug a hole and dropped it into place. Then we trimmed the low-hanging tree branches that could have caught us on our way over the drop. Even our dog, Marshall, was interested in the action and wanted to say hi to the camera. Once all cleared, the drop was pretty much ready to rip. So we checked it out. How's it look up there?
Looks bigger than it looked like before.
Alright, so we got the drop all set. It looks a little sketchy as you just saw. Gus said it's a little bit higher than we thought it was. And the thing's definitely a little rotted because it's super old. But we're going to figure out who's going to go off of it first. And Gus proposed this competition. So what are we doing?
We're going to do a track stand competition. So whoever can stay on their bike stationary the longest gets to choose first or second.
We rolling up to it?
Let's roll off.
All right.
Three, two, one. I think I touched first because you fell that way.
Let's check it out. All right, we've reviewed the tape, and although I pulled a bit of a cheap move and just fell right over, he touched the ground first. So I can decide who's going first, and since this was my drop from back in the day, I kind of want to hit it.
Go for it.
And just like that, it was finally time.
All right, I think if I just pull back and lean back a bit, it's not going to be that bad.
I looked at the drop a final time and thought about going off of it back in my day. This shouldn't be too bad. So I grabbed my bike and pedaled up the hill, and it was time to hit it.
All right, ready? That does look high coming at it. Man, that is easy. The landing is sketchy though, because it's sand. Man, that was awesome. Almost lost it in the same spot I did.
Man, that's soft.
Yeah, we probably should rake and water this, but.
Yep.
Alright guys, so that's going to wrap up this video. This drop seems pretty high compared to what I used to think that it was. Maybe I was just more ballsy then or something. But what did you think of it?
It seemed high when you were going off it at first, but we're sending it onto a bit of a downhill, so there's probably a bit more elevation change than before.
Yep.
We're in the woods, it's a bit of a sketchy landing, but overall it's still pretty simple, and I think we did pretty good on it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The only thing that was a little bit sketchy actually wasn't the drop itself. It was the fact that the landing was really sandy and the front end pretty much washes out as soon as you're ready to turn. But other than that, it was a blast getting this thing back together. If you want to see more mountain biking videos and adventure videos in general, definitely subscribe to the channel. check out my website, Golden Hour Adventure, and we hope you join us for the adventure. Take care. All right, so we just wrapped up filming this video, and Gus didn't wipe out going off of the super sketchy drop, but he did just standing here. And I think he has some pretty good pedal bite on his knee here. Ooh. Was that from the pedal or no?
Yeah, that was from one of these spikes.
Man.
I just let go of my brakes while I was leaning on my bike like the genius I am.
He's gonna lose a whole leg of hair when he pulls that Band-Aid off. Yeah, right?
Yep.